Welcome to episode 4, part 2 of the Tony McNaboe Show. I'm Tony McNaboe, and every summer I spend June and July raising money before August rolls around, and I jump in a van with 5, 6, 7 of my oldest and closest friends, and we drive to Vermont to take part in a fundraising event. Now, it's not just any fundraising event. There are some very remarkable and interesting things about this event that I will get to later on in the show. Those of you who skipped part 1, I don't blame you. That's fine. It was pretty fucking sad. It was pretty fucking sad for me to do it. I apologize if I dabbled in melodrama. I didn't intend to. I just wanted you to have a little background, okay? If you missed it, here's a recap. I had a great friend growing up. Still do. After high school, I went off to play in a band and start touring. He went to college. When he got to college, he played a hockey game. He fell, he broke his neck. Now he's a C4 quadriplegic. It was heartbreaking. It was very difficult to adjust to and to get used to. But I learned an awful lot from it. So now that that's behind us, we're going to start talking in this episode about how he picked up the pieces and all of us together started moving forward and turning this tragic shit into something really, really beautiful, something very radiant, and something that has made the world, well, I like to think, a happier, brighter, better place. Okay, so let's get to that. Let's open up the curtains and let some fucking light in, shall we? Hello! Hello, thank you. Thank you. Gosh, it's nice to see you again. Okay, the hard part is over. We can get back to having a little bit of fun again now. Not a ton still, not a ton, but a little bit more fun. Very special episode today, everybody. Today will feature my first guest, born the same day as Travis Roy, 16 years ago. Travis Roy's nephew and Travis Roy's obvious namesake, everybody. Travis the Millennial is here today. He'll be making his debut. Oh, you guys have no idea. Love music? Want to get real mad? Just listen to our conversation in about 30 minutes. It'll be real easy. Okay, nice to have you here. Let's lighten things up again. Let's have a little fun. All right, here goes. Thanks for being here. Hi, thank you. All right, thank you. Da-ba-doo, boo-ba-doo, doo-ba-dee-da. Man, I'm really feeling this new Kenny Chesney song. I really am. I'm not joking. I know I'm all over the place from speed metal to hip hop, and then I'm talking about like solid gold, easy listening, and then, before you know it, I'm talking about modern country music. I love it all, okay? Excuse me for that. Sorry. All right? But I'm feeling this new Kenny Chesney single a lot. This song, Get Along. Man, it's good. I think it's his strongest single since I Go Back. And I love it. Makes me want to dance, makes me want to sing, makes me a little choked up. It's got a little bit of everything that I like. Although I don't like to dance actually. So, but anyway, I agree with the chorus is great. I love it all, especially the part where he says, buy a boat, drink a beer, sing a song. It's like he got he got all of my main priorities in life in exact reverse order. Would be sing a song, drink a beer, buy a boat. Although in my life, I usually am just looking to go and hang out on a friend's boat because I can't afford to buy a boat. You know why I can't afford to buy a boat? Because you guys won't subscribe to my podcast like I ask you to. You won't rate it. You won't comment on it. It's very simple. It costs you nothing, you guys. It costs you nothing, but it's currency to me. It's very helpful. And if you guys would just do that, then maybe I could buy a boat. I'm trying to make a living here someday. I could buy a boat. And then I could be just like Kenny Chesney. I can just sit on my boat all the time and write songs and make podcasts for you. And I promise that's all I'd do. I promise. Wouldn't that be great? And all you have to do is do something that's free and literally takes 1 second. Just subscribe. Just rate. Just comment. I'd prefer it to be favorable, but I can't make you do that. Whatever you feel you need to do, just please do something. Lastly, please remember that there are URLs and links in the description of this podcast. Some of them are pertinent to this story, just some things that'll give you a little bit of a reference on what's going on. And also, my fundraising page is linked on that. If you, at any point in this whole thing, feel like, hey, I get it now. I'm into what this guy's doing. I'm into what these people are doing. I want to help out. All you got to do is go there and click on that. Okay, moving on from that. Not only do we have the debut of Travis the Millennial coming up on this episode, but The next part of this episode, part 3 of this episode, is going to feature Travis Roy himself. And I imagine that we're going to have a good long talk, and I want to leave it to him to explain a lot of what goes on with his life and with his work and everything else. So I'm gonna leave a lot of things out here. There's about 1,000 subplots that I'm probably gonna just stay out of, because I'd like him to be able to use his own words on those things. So there's that. Those are the things you need to know going forward. Now, let me roll back to where we were. When I last spoke to you, I was standing bedside to Travis Roy at the hospital at Boston University. And I'd say probably a month passed, if I remember it all just right. I'd say, we were down there for 3 months, 3 or 4 months. We were down there. We had Thanksgiving down there. Christmas time happened down there. It was a few months, but I think it was about a month before he got his tracheotomy out and was able to start speaking with us finally. And during that time, something very, very, very remarkable happened. Something that changed my life forever, that changed my view of the world forever. The news started to break within the first week or two of him being in the hospital. The news started to break of his story. It broke very quickly in New England, with us being from Maine, with him playing collegiate hockey in Boston. And the city of Boston just is so incredible, and the city of Boston got behind him in such an incredibly humbling way. Within a week or so, it broke nationally, and it just started going crazy. You can't watch major network news, CNN, CBS, 60, whatever. Everybody is talking about this kid, and I think the reason for that was because he was such a charismatic kid. And it was an honest story. It was an honest thing that I think everybody sort of wants to relate to, where it was like, this wasn't a bunch of shit that was handed to this kid. Like, this was a kid. You see the pictures of him at 2 years old on skates, the video of him being 6 when he was on skates. And he's, he worked his ass off his whole life for this thing. It did not come easy to him. He was small. He was undersized, especially during that time. Small players didn't really break into collegiate and professional level hockey. He was a lot of things were stacked against him, but he did it. And I think people related to that. People wanted to feel in some way that was them, or they wanted that to be them. Everybody in America had their fucking heartbreak over this. So all of a sudden, we went from being in this room where we were all trying to small talk and make bad jokes, just break the silence, just stop this awkward silence from happening however we could at any time, to all of a sudden, one box shows up one day and it's full of mail. Full. A big cardboard box. It's full of letters and cards and mail. And we start going through it. It's from children. It's from students in elementary schools. It's from adults and elderly people who are sending prayers for him and sending cards and all of these well wishes. And then within a few days, it was box upon box upon box upon box. The room was half filled with cardboard boxes, especially as the holidays approached. And we went from being tasked with trying to just get through this to all of a sudden we could start taking shifts sitting next to Travis's bed and reading these different letters and reading these different stories. And yeah, we would cry as we went through them, but it was a different kind of crying than we were doing before. It was this beautiful kind of crying. It was this, I can't believe this situation that we're in, but at the same time, I can't believe the amount of support that we're getting. And over the 3 months of this, it didn't stop. It was just, some of them I'll never forget reading. I remember what they said. Some of them were short and very poignant, and I'll never forget them, reading them to Travis. I'll never forget hearing his father sit and read some of these to Travis while he was breaking into tears. And again, like it was these little beautiful moments, and we started to realize that this is what we've got now. This is what we have in life, are these little beautiful moments, these things of beauty that are sad, but not in a sorrowful way. And at that point, that was when we started to realize for the first time that life was going to be a series of little victories. Life was going to be a series of little awakenings. And by the way, it has been ever since. It's been nonstop. But this was a very, very pertinent thing for me, because this was where it became ingrained in me for the first time in my life. And I swear to God, nobody will ever take this out of me. That humanity is an incredibly, incredibly, incredibly good pack of people. There is so much fucking goodness in the world. And people will try to tell you, especially nowadays with everything that's going on, people will try to tell you that we are fucking doomed. That we have lost humanity, we have lost goodness, we have lost civility. You know, like there are people, and more than ever, people that believe that. Nobody will ever convince me of that ever again. And in fact, if you allow me to, I will debate that with you to the bone. And I almost guarantee you that I'll change your mind. And among so many other things, if I had to take on this situation in life, well, I couldn't be more grateful for that lesson than I am. It's worth the cost. And believe me, it helps me so many times in my life when things do get low, and I need to remember that. And I think about that room and I think about those boxes, and I'll get back to that in a little bit because that's important down the road of this story as well. But now I want to move to the situation right around 2-3 months where Travis began to recover from his surgery, and it was time to start fitting him into a chair. It was time to start helping him learn to work and exist in this chair. And that was a messed up point, honestly, because that was the week I remember when some real sort of finality got put into this situation. Because I was a very optimistic person at this time, probably even far more optimistic than I am now, for sure. And I believed in things from a very naive, I was always like, I know this is going to work out. There's all these people, there's all this prayer happening around the world. There's all this good energy. There's all this hope. And here he was, this like incredibly athletic kid. Like his body was in the prime of his body. Like every day I went to the hospital, I was like, okay, today's going to be the day he's going to start moving his hand. There's going to be some massive breakthrough. He's going to move his hand, and then very quickly, all of a sudden, there goes a toe. And before you know it, like we're back in the game here. And I really, really fucking believed every day I went to the hospital that there was going to come a time where something was just going to start going. Something was going to connect. Well, no, that's not how it works. And that's not how it worked out. And so the day came where we started seeing him in the chair for the first time. And shortly after that, now it was time where like the room was more largely open to like outside visitors and people who wanted to see them. And we had people coming into that hospital. I mean, people like Bobby fucking Orr, again, like going back to the city of Boston and how incredible it was during that time, how incredible it continues to be. The sports community in Boston was insane during that time. Like, so many, like there's just, as if I couldn't respect people like Bobby Orr any more than I already did. And he was just one of many, but he was one of the greatest like assets to this whole thing. But like that was sort of like what was going on in the world. The fucking president like sent him a letter, like it was crazy. But it came time for him to go down the hall and start physical therapy. This was mostly like, this was not like, okay, we're going to, start teaching you how to walk, or like, it wasn't that. This was like, we're going to start teaching you how to use your wheelchair. We're going to start teaching you, different massages and things like that that we can do to your different limbs and muscles to prevent atrophy. And, this was not like, physical therapy, we're going to get you back on the road to walking. It was not that. It was physical therapy. We're going to start showing you how to live without ever walking or moving again, which was tough. And once Travis was in that room, and again, I want to let him put this in his own words, but I do want to say how I sort of remember it going, and how I viewed it is he ended up down here and started for the first time seeing the other patients, the other people that were on that floor, the other people that were going through the same thing as him. And despite everything that was going on back in his room and the boxes of letters and the people that were coming to visit, none of that mattered anymore. He was no different than anybody in this room, in that all of them had just broken their necks. All of them were struggling to try to figure out how they're going to put this all back together. And I'm sure he felt that acutely. What happened then is sort of the turning point in this whole story. This is a very major event. Travis has always been a very curious person, and he's a good dude. He's a fucking good dude. So he's always been curious about people's lives. It was a big part of why he wanted to go to Boston and go to college instead of, just going on and playing more and more hockey. He wanted to experience the world. He wanted to experience people, see different things. And nothing had changed about that. So we've started to, at certain points, ask questions to some of these other people that were going through the same things around him. And what he found out was a lot of them didn't have a family there in the hospital with them. A lot of them didn't have the means to get things taken care of at their home since they've been in the hospital. You don't just get to have a spinal cord injury and then end up in a wheelchair and then just go downstairs when all your treatment is done and go out the door and just go home. This is a really important thing here. First of all, you need a vehicle that you can fit into that can bring you from the hospital to your home. Really, really difficult to try to figure out. If you're lucky enough to have a van, you might be able to get that van outfitted. That costs a lot of money. Once you get home, you've probably got a set of steps that go up into your front door or your side door, wherever you go into the house. Well, guess what? You can't use steps anymore. Now you need to completely do a rebuild outside your home and build a ramp and make yourself access into your house. Once you've done that, which is also expensive, you find that this new electric wheelchair that you've got, it's pretty bulky. It probably doesn't fit through standard door frames inside your house. So now you've got to have somebody come and expand those door frames so that you can even just get in. Once you've done that, I mean, the list goes on and on. It is a laundry list of things. Worst of all, man, I think about the people with no family, with no support. And you wake up in this bed one day and you find out that you've been given this hand in life. And you just try to come to grips with that emotionally. And then after a few weeks, you've got to start coming to grips with the fact that life has to go on outside of here, right? So all those things I just laid out, life has to go on from here. I need to leave this hospital because I can't stay here forever. Once I do that, I have to learn how I'm going to be transported from the hospital to my house. And once I get to my house, how the fuck do I get into my house? And once I'm into my house, how the fuck do I exist in there? How do I clean myself? How do I reach my cupboards? How do I go to sleep? How do I do anything? And so, Travis, once he was out of that hospital and started getting his things in order, realizing this amount of overwhelming support he had from the entire globe, well, what was he going to do with all of this support? What was he going to do with all of this compassion and humanity? He had what he needed, but he thought about all these people that he met along the way. And he took all of this support. He took all of this humanity that was being sent to him in every form, every outlet, and he started the Travis Roy Foundation. And that was sort of the beginning of all of this. This was how everything got started, with my involvement in the Travis Roy Foundation, how committed I've been to it, and Travis's lifelong commitment, Travis's lifelong meaning, his devotion to this cause. And that all leads me here to this place where I wanted to end up. There was a guy in this very, very small, secluded town in Vermont called Jericho. His name was Patrick O'Connor, and he had this plot of land out there that was not only massive, but absolutely beautiful, and sort of hunkered down in this little valley inside this panoramic Green Mountain view. Well, Pat built a wiffle ball field to quarter scale spec of Fenway Park. It is an exact quarter scale replica. And he decided, I guess now 13, 14 years ago, that they were going to start the first annual Travis Roy Foundation wiffle ball tournament. I know. It sounds pretty trivial, a fucking wiffle ball tournament, right? Well, at the time it might have been somewhat, if not for being the seed to what it is now. The first year that it started, they had 5 teams, 6 teams or something like that, and I think they raised about $1,000 for the Travis Roy Foundation. There's now 35 teams from all over America that come to play in this. We've expanded the property to now, well, not the property, but the fields now have a mini replica Wrigley Field and a replica Field of Dreams, complete with like a little cornfield and everything else. We had a survey that year. It was either going to be Dodger Stadium or Field of Dreams. Field of Dreams won. I voted for Dodger Stadium, but that's beside the point. It's just become this incredible property. And this is where you're going to want to get into those links that I've posted in the description, because one of them is to Little Fenway. And you need to go and check this place out. It's fucking magical. You have to go down this dirt road for like 3 miles in the middle of nowhere. You think you're just literally going absolutely nowhere. And all of a sudden it opens up into this place. And so now with 35 teams involved, the grantees that are part of the foundation, they come. A lot of local spectators, and some spectators come from far away to come and watch this. All in all, you've got like 1,000 people now that, fall into this property for 3 days in the middle of August every year. And it's gone from one field, 5 for 6 teams raising $1,000. We're now 35 different teams, and we are raising annually, not in total, annually per year. We're now raising over $500,000 every year for the Travis Roy Foundation, for the science and the research to try to get people walking again, for these people who Travis met at the Boston University Hospital who didn't have families, who didn't have a support system. And that's where I want to get back to those cards and those letters in that room and what it meant to me. I don't have enough time to tell you how much that shit helped going through that situation. And now that I've met other people and I've looked at it from the other side, and I've had empathy, and I've tried to place myself in a situation where if we were just there in this humdrum situation every day for 3 or 4 months trying to get through this, like how different that would have been than to have this outpouring of support, these cards, these letters, these kids that were sending drawings and everything else. That meant so much to me. And I'm speaking for all of us, but I only want to speak from my own perspective of just like, that was an incredibly difficult thing to get through. And I'll never know how much more difficult it would have been without it. All I know is how much less difficult it was to have it. And I will never, ever, ever forget that. And I have this I'm like indebted. I have this debt to humanity forever from now on to try to give back to that and to try to make sure that anybody that's in that situation has at the very least that same support from the foundation, that the foundation can come in and say you're not alone and we can help you and we're your friend and we can, support you in this. I watch these videos of like some of the grantees and like the things that have been brought to them and how much it means to their life, like things that you would think are so small and so insignificant, and it is world changing to them. And there's literally nothing in my life that makes me prouder or happier than contributing to this tournament every year. I played at one point I was out playing drums with Ray LaMontagne. I played for 25,000 people like 4 nights in a row in Australia. I was pretty proud of that. That felt pretty good. This weekend dwarfs that. I really can't stress it enough. So what happens on Saturday afternoon, the games are Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. Saturday, we do what's called the money count. And that's when all the games stop, all the teams, all the spectators, everybody kind of descends on Little Fenway. And Travis is there. The foundation are there. Usually 1 or 2 of the scientists that work for the foundation are there, and they let us know what's going on this year. They let us know where science is at, how close we are, how far we are, and it's always very realistic. It's never this like bullshitting kind of thing. But then finally they stop and they come out and they announce what our total is that year for the money that we've raised. And that's when all the competition goes away. And you see, 500 people that play on all these different teams stand up and start hugging each other, start high-fiving. And all this work that we do for 2-3 months to raise our money going into it, it all now means something. And we know now what we've got to further support these efforts. I always say, like, I don't know if I should say this now or if I should let Travis talk. Well, I'm not sure what this science and this money raised and this foundation and all the work that it does, I'm not exactly sure what it's ever going to mean to Travis in terms of his recovery. Which makes it all the more remarkable that Travis dedicates his life to it the way that he does. He's been in that chair a long time. I don't know what it's all going to mean for him because the cure is close. We are close to it. And I don't know what it's going to mean for him. But what I know for a fact is that there's a 7-year-old boy or an 8-year-old girl, they fell, something awful happened, something just tragic, just a fucking accident, who are quadriplegic right now. And what I know for a fact, because of the work that we're doing, I am 100% positive that they are going to be standing up and they're going to be able to dance with their girlfriend or their boyfriend at their senior prom. I am 100% positive of that, based on what we're all doing. And again, that's a debt of gratitude that I owe the world for what took place in that hospital room for those few months. And the things that I've seen and the things that I've learned from Travis and the things that I've learned from humanity in the time since, I'm so, so grateful for. And I touched on it earlier. It's been worth all of it. I know that's easy for me to say, all right? But I've talked about this with Travis, and I think he agrees that, I don't know that I'd change any of this. I really don't. I really don't. If it would take me 30 episodes to try to explain to you how much my life has been enriched by the time and my life spent with Travis and the work that he does. I can't begin to tell you how much my life has been enriched by it. And so that's why I wanted to make this podcast. And that's why it needed to be a few episodes. And in the next episode, we're going to talk to Travis. And that's going to be rolling out next week sometime. In the meantime, I'm going to introduce now my first guest that I will ever have on this show. And it is serendipitous that it's happening on this show, which is why I wanted to do it. We're going to go to the phone lines and we're going to talk with Travis the Millennial. And if I didn't mention it earlier, Travis the Millennial is Travis Roy's nephew. And he also is the pitcher on my team now. We made a trade for he and his cousin Henry last year, who turned 15 and 16 respectively. And it's time for them to start playing on the Big Guys Club. So we brought them over, and both of them are studs and great, great ball players and awesome, awesome kids. Travis and I have gotten very, very, very close since then. And I thought it would be nice to debut him on this episode. So we're going to go to the phones, which are sponsored by another one of my teammates, Chad, and his girl, Kristen, who are out in Southern California. And they've got a company there. So with this call is sponsored by ClassyWino.com. Go to ClassyWino.com. I've got a bunch of friends with boats. I've got a bunch of friends with motorcycles, okay? All of you need vessels for your shit that you can throw in a bag, and then you can get where you're going, and you can drink your wine, you can drink your booze, and you don't have to be like me and drink it straight out of the bottle. No one wants to be that guy. So go to ClassyWino.com. You will find these soft, squishy, like silicone pint glasses, silicone wine glasses, all these things that you can literally squish up, stuff in your bag, throw them on your boat, throw them in the saddlebags of your motorcycle, and just go. When you get where you're going, pour them into a fucking vessel like a classy person, like a civilized human. Drink your booze, and then when you're done, rinse them out a little bit, squish them up, and throw them back in your bag. Easy, okay? Go to ClassyWino.com and check it out, all right? Now we go to the phones. I'm really looking forward to this. You guys aren't going to believe some of the shit that comes out of this guy's mouth. Introducing Travis the Millennial. Travis, how are you?
I'm doing great, Tony. Thank you for asking.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. What's going on up there?
Not much. Just enjoying a nice summer day with the cousins. That's about it.
Okay, good. Now, have you felt mostly safe while you're doing that? Has anybody used any words against you today that have made you feel like you need to retreat to someplace more comfortable?
I wouldn't say that I've had any of those experiences today. No, I haven't had to retreat to a safe place.
We've got this tournament coming up.
Yep.
And first of all, as your captain, I'd be skirting my own responsibilities if I didn't ask you how your fundraising is going. How's everything going? How are you feeling physically? How's your knee? How's your fundraising going?
Fundraising will start off tonight. I have my email list, and I'm going to write the email tonight. So good prospects.
Good.
My knee is a little large on the left side, and my right knee is not as good from wrestling camp, which I had bursitis in my left knee, so it's most likely bursitis in the right knee. So, but I'm continuing my medication, my anti-inflammatory for my left knee, which should help my right knee.
Even
I'm
better.
seeing the doctors after the summer.
Because you're going to need to be healthy for two reasons. One, I'm going to need you to be throwing your best stuff. Travis has this one pitch that I think is unhittable. I don't know why you don't throw it every single pitch, but I'm going to skip over all that, and I'm going to say you need to be healthy for pitching. You also need to be healthy because Travis, obviously, you just heard that he's got all these wrestling injuries, and we have a title belt on our team. And every year somebody's kind of carrying the title belt, and usually what that means is that you've defeated anybody on the team who tried to fight you over the course of that weekend. And everybody, not everybody, but most everybody kind of wants the belt because it's a very prideful thing to have. At least it is for me. And I don't remember how it happened. Maybe you were there last year, Travis, but somehow, anyway, I ended up with the belt last year. So what happens? And I'm proud of you for it, Travis. To be honest with you, I've told you this before. I am proud of you for trying. But what happens is 15-year-old.
It wasn't a real effort.
15-year-old little Travis gets a little too courageous on Saturday night after we've all been sitting around the fire and cooking out, and Travis gets a little courageous, and he thinks he's gonna come for the belt. And I think you started with like some kind of like a reverse headlock. You tried to sneak attack me, and it didn't go very well for you, did it?
No.
No, he felt like I'm going to go and I'm going to take the title from Tony.
I'm going to take it this year.
And I quietly said to you, didn't I, during that whole thing, I was sort of letting you feel comfortable and not trying to make you look that bad. And I sort of quietly said to you, didn't I? I was like, don't do this, Travis. Just stop. Just stop.
You did say that.
And then you wouldn't, and I had to hurt you. And you know, Travis, how bad that made me feel. I didn't want to hurt you. You're 15 years old. What a wonderful summer we were having, and I felt horrible about it. But what I will tell you is you're not going to embarrass me in front of people, and you're not going to just take the belt from me. So
last year.
So he thinks he's going to come in this year. now because he's 16, and now he might have a chance.
I've gained a bit of weight.
Travis, you're 130 fucking pounds. I have 50.
140.
I have almost 40 pounds on you. What makes you think?
I've wrestled people that are 180 pounds and I've beaten them, so it's not a problem.
Oh, you have?
For me. Yeah.
That doesn't sound right, Travis. Don't come on my podcast and try to fucking bullshit these people. These people that subscribe to my podcast and help me out. Do not come on my podcast and try to fucking bullshit these people.
I would never lie about
wouldn't?
that kind of thing.
Travis,
No.
you don't think I know your fucking record? You don't think I know what your record was last year? And you don't think I know you don't think I know who you wrestled and what happened? You don't think I'm not going to give your record unless you're okay with me giving your record, but I do know.
You can give my record.
Okay, you don't think
I know my record.
You don't think I know that you have an overall.
Hold up right now.
Yeah, you have an overall career record of 7 wins and 11 losses.
That actually might be true.
Oh, it is true.
No, but no,
it is
no.
true.
It's
you
missing
went
a tournament.
You're
missing a tournament.
You went 1-1. You went 1-1 your freshman year. You actually fought at 500 your freshman year.
That was varsity. That was varsity.
Good. Congratulations on making varsity. I'm glad.
Oh, thank you.
And then last year you went 6-10. Not terribly impressive, and you had a good start. You won your first 3 fights. You came out strong. And then all of a sudden you sort of fizzled. It's almost as though you lost focus. It's almost as though you lost interest. It's almost as though
Tony, you're missing.
It's almost as though you went up that weight class and fought at 132 and you lost to Joey Menjivar. And it's almost as though after that fight you sort of stopped caring. You tried to go up.
Tony,
You tried to go up to 132 pounds to fight old Joey Menjivar from Orange High School, and you lost. That was your first loss of the season. What makes you think you're going to come up to 175 pounds in my weight class and beat me?
Tony, you're missing all the off-season wrestling at one of the most prestigious wrestling clubs in New Jersey.
I don't give a fuck about your stories. You already tried to lie to these people. I'm going by what's on paper.
I'm not lying to you. I'm talking about my teammate who wrestles at 170, who I've beaten multiple times, okay? I'm not worried about a weight difference, okay?
Yeah, okay, Travis. So what are you up to now, like 135 pounds or something like that?
About 140. give or take a good
Travis, I don't want to do this year. I don't. You're continuing to give me this bad impression of being somebody who likes to beat up children. And I mean, as much as I like to win, I don't like some of the things that I sometimes have to do to win. I'll tell you that you are not.
I'm not worried about pain, Tony.
You are not beating me in a fight this year. I keep begging with you. Give it 2-3 more years. You're on your way up. I'm on my way down. We're gonna meet right in the middle. That's when you want me. You don't want me right now. Just someone else is gonna come for the belt before you do anyway. It's probably gonna be Marky Karen, and
I'm not fighting Marky.
Well, no, I'm just saying you're probably not gonna get a chance at the belt because someone else is gonna come for it first. And
I gotta take it early.
I don't like my odds of beating Mark. But
Maybe.
Anyway, all I'm saying is just wait your fucking turn. Okay, Youngblood? Stay in your lane and wait your turn.
That's just not who I am. And you know that.
Okay, Travis. Each time that I have you on, I'm going to have one, maybe sometimes several really major questions for you that I've thought of that I'm very interested in your answer to. Okay? And here's this episode's big question for Travis the Millennial. All right? Pepsi recently has introduced a Legends, or I think it's called Legends or some shit, right? Like you can go and get a 12-pack of Pepsi. The box has 3 artists on it. They each only have their first name. And I was going to list off those artists, and I was going to ask you if you can tell me who those people are.
Okay.
Okay, so here they are. The 3 different artists that you can get on this summer's Pepsi cans are named Michael, Ray, and fucking Britney.
What? I don't know who those people are.
Okay, I'm just talking about the box that I had in where I was, and I looked at this box and it said, here's the 3 people that you might get inside of here. Their names were Michael, Ray, and Britney. By the way, we got Michael, and I was very pleased.
Is Michael Lil Peep?
I'm going to give you Michael, Ray, Britney. And I want you to tell me what those names mean to you in the annals of music.
They mean nothing to me. I don't know who these people are. I'm
Michael.
Michael might be Lil Peep.
Holy fuck. Are you... Hold on. Excuse me. Are you okay? Let's just try this. Okay, I just want you to really, truly.
Okay, these are some old artists that died, and you're disappointed because I didn't listen to it because I wasn't old enough to ever hear it. Is that what you want me to tell you?
Travis, you're a 16-year-old boy in America. I'm gonna give you 3 names that are on the fucking Pepsi box. Now, remember, this box is called Legends. Okay. So hold on a second. Hold on one goddamn second. So I just told you this box is called Legends. So what we're gonna do is use a thing called deductive reasoning. Do you know what deductive reasoning is? Has Mrs. What's-Her-Face, even though I know she didn't teach you what a fucking metaphor is yet, sophomore in high school,
you don't know what a metaphor is. But that's okay.
Do you know what deductive reasoning is?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a way of narrowing down.
So what I've told you is that the box is called Legends. Okay, so you need to use deductive reasoning, and you need to ask yourself if Lil Peep is a fucking legend or not.
Well, Juice WRLD made a song called Legends, which was about XXXTentacion and Lil Peep and how they died. So that's why I thought legend. Okay, that was my deductive reasoning. I don't even want to know who these legends are.
Travis, you better be you better start being really careful right now. Really careful.
Okay, one of them's the girl that... Oh, no.
Michael?
Whitney Houston. No, that's not...
Travis, will you fucking... Listen, focus. Okay? This is what you're doing right now is you're really setting up you're really setting up a nice little segue into the other Travis the Millennial episodes, because you are going so fucking millennial on me right now. It's incredible. It's shocking, actually. Okay? Now listen.
Okay.
We're going to do this one more
Oh,
time.
no.
I'm going to give you 3 names, and you're going to do your best to tell me who they are. All right? The 3 names on the Legends Pepsi box this year of musical legends that they've printed on their cans. And I'll tell you this, I'll give you a little hint, okay? I think that 2 of them are legends. I think the other one, it is absolutely appalling that that person is included in this company. But I'm going to give you the 3 names that are on the Music Legends box on the Pepsi box right now. Without cheating, without looking at anything, I'm going to give you 3 names, and just guess if you have to, but you tell me what these mean to you and who they might be, okay? They were Michael.
Are they the real first names?
Yes. They were Michael, Ray, and Britney. Hint, none of them are rappers. These are the actual names of the artists. Michael,
All right.
Ray,
Michael is
Britney.
Prince.
Holy fuck. Okay, carry on.
Ray also has to be Prince. One of them is Prince, so I'm going to go with Prince for both. And then the last one is
Britney.
only female artist that I know that died is Whitney Houston. So
Hey, Travis. Travis, you not only did you just fail to answer the question correctly, but you just failed me personally so deeply in such a way that I couldn't begin to explain to you. I mean, I told, first of all, I actually literally told you what their names were. And then you literally picked a different name for all 3 of them. I literally told you what their names were. Their names are Michael something, Ray something, and Britney something. Try again. Give me your best try. Michael is Michael Jackson. Have you ever heard of Michael Jackson?
I thought we were talking about. Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
Britney, for whatever reason, who is in the company of these 2 people, Britney is Britney Spears.
She died? I was going to say Britney Spears, but I thought she was alive.
Having died is not a part of
This is what's wrong with marketing these days. They don't understand regular human beings. They understand baby boomers, okay? Because that's who's in those companies.
I asked you about a legendary musical artist named Michael, and you said Prince. Who's got the fucking problem here?
Prince probably has a first name, and I don't know.
I asked you, who might Michael be? These are their real names. Who might Michael be? And you said, I'm going to go with Prince. and you're going to tell me that this is my problem?
Yes.
Please explain that one.
Because he's not really a legend. Nobody really cares about Michael Jackson. He was the epitome of pop music. I don't like his pop music. Okay?
Man, I will if we I can barely talk. You are so lucky.
Who's Ray?
You are
Tell
so
me who
lucky
Ray
that
is.
we're on the phone right now. If we were in the same room, the last sentence, not the last question, the last sentence you just said never would have finished leaving your mouth before it was slapped right out of it. You wouldn't have finished even saying that sentence. I would be currently right now, I can't even begin to tell you how upset what you just said makes me. What you continue to say. And
I stand true to my beliefs.
You do, unfortunately. And I'm going to make sure that you begin to believe different things this summer when I see you
Also,
in August. It's going to
you
be a
should
goal
probably
of
start
mine.
thinking about Jose Humphrey.
Just saying, Humphrey, you're going to tell me that motherfucker has 4 fucking records that are remotely as significant
Yes,
as
I
just
want you
one
to
of Michael
I
Jackson
listen to all your
records.
stupid music that's never. No, it's not never good. I listen to your old music sometimes, and sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's not good. Listen to XXX.
What makes you think I
Tentacion.
haven't?
Because you
This
don't
is-
know who Jose Humphrey is.
Why do I have to know his real name in order to?
Why do I need to know Ray? Who's Ray?
You need to know Michael Jackson because that's actually literally what the fuck he was called.
I
Do
know
you see
that.
the difference?
But he's not a legend. I don't believe that he's a legend, so I would never associate legends with Michael Jackson.
But Lil Peep, he's a legend, right?
No, he was not a legend. He had some good songs, but he was not a legend.
Fucking A. Fuck.
Jose Humphrey, definitely legend.
Let me tell you this, and I'm going to just say this, and then I'm going to hold my breath and wait and hear what sort of dumb, unfortunate shit you have to say about this. Just by the way, so we can wrap this up, Ray is Ray Charles. Go
I
ahead.
have no idea who that is.
Oh, my God. Lord.
Maybe he's... Is he African American?
He is.
Okay. Is he... Ray. Was he a rapper?
I wish I were on video right now. I wish you could see the expressions that you're making me have. And
It makes me...
no,
I don't know why
no,
it makes
no,
me so happy,
no,
but...
no. He
I
wasn't
really
a
want
rapper.
to
He
see
was
it.
not. He wasn't a rapper.
Okay, then he's probably one of those old-time music people that nobody cares about.
I don't think I can keep going.
What?
I don't think I can keep going with this. I think that might be where I think that might be where we put this episode down. Travis the Millennial, great first outing. Proud of you, and we'll be talking much more. I miss you. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you in a few weeks. And say hello to everybody up there for me.
I can do that for you.
Okay, Travis. Thank you
Goodbye.
very much, and we'll talk the next time.
Yes, thank you so much for having me again.
Travis. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. You just keep...
Well, I'm
Being
saying
Travis.
Travis, and usually when I'm addressing you, and then I'm waiting for you to say yes, Tony.
I thought you were saying Travis.
No, I'm
Travis,
saying
perhaps.
Travis.
Yes.
I love you. That's all I wanted to say.
I love you too, Tony.
All right, buddy. See you.
Yep. Goodbye.
You know, I've had to listen back to that conversation several times now, just in the course of like putting this episode all together, post-production and so on. And I become more amazed every time at just how wrong that whole thing went. Like, I expected Travis the Millennial to be a little bit challenged by it, honestly. Like, I thought I'd stump him on Ray Charles. That's where I thought I'd get him. And in my wildest dreams, I never would have imagined it could have gone that wrong. Or that this 16-year-old kid could have taken down almost everything that was sacred to me within like 45 seconds. And somehow he found a way to bring Whitney into this and insult her too. That was amazing. Like if you guys knew the place in my heart, the space that is reserved for, well, I mean, like, you know how I feel about Whitney Houston. I talked about that in episode 1. And then Michael Jackson, Ray Charles, Prince, he found a way to it was sort of like a sidearm insult at Prince. It wasn't a direct insult, but it was sort of like still like this indifference. And he fell short of like one person that he missed. Like, if he could have found a way, which would have been impossible, but at this point wouldn't have surprised me, if he could have found a way to insult, to somehow bring Maurice White into the whole thing and insult Maurice White, then he would have completed the whole thing of people who just are absolutely the most sacred, passed on artists of my life listening to music. So thankfully he didn't do that. And thankfully later on today, I'm getting on the phone with his uncle, Travis Roy, and I expect that to be a slightly more intelligent conversation than the one that I just had with Travis, the millennial, and that will be posting up next, probably in about a week. And then that's done. Then we can put this topic down and behind us, and we can get back to just some fucking nonsense. All right. But in the meantime, I appreciate you hanging in there and listening through all of this. If it's your first time hearing about Travis, if it's your first time hearing me, I hope that I've piqued your interest. I hope that you'll stick with both of us. And I hope that you'll follow some of those URLs. I hope you'll check out the fundraising page. I hope that you'll want to help out with that as well. Okay. Otherwise, I'm going to put this down quickly. Let's all get out of here. I don't want to belabor the whole thing. Okay. So that's it. All right, let's all get back to whatever we were doing. I'm going to go drink a beer and carry on, okay? Drink a beer, sing a song, make a friend. Thank you, Kenny Chesney, for those words. Okay, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye.